Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.
Hi, I'm Cherry Johnson with Watauga County Arts Council, and as you know, we often showcase things that are happening all over the whole community in the arts. Today's going to be a little bit different experience. For one thing, this couch is really full today, so we have a lot of folks to share with you, and they're doing a performance that I think it's going to strike a chord with most people. Most people already know the story of the Diary of Anne Frank, and this is about that. But also, it is going to be different because we have Anne and Anne. and we even have Anne and Anna. All right, at the far end, we have Anna Ward, who is the director, and you're a professor at the university, and you're also an alumni, I understand.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you came back to teach at your old alma mater, which I told her I'd done that before. I taught at a high school that I had been at, and it was a really strange feeling to be on the other side of the table, you know. So how long have you been at the university, Anna?
This is my 19th year.
Wow.
To be back.
Okay. But you started, I know that Teresa Lee told me that you once, a long time ago, performed with her group, the Appalachian Children, what is it called?
The Appalachian Young People's Theater.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the name.
Yeah.
So now we have with us the cast. Now I'm going to start here. This is Grayson. Grayson, your last name, pronounce it.
Reith. Grayson Reith.
Reith.
Yes.
I was a little bit scared I was going to say that one wrong. And then we have Kimmy, and your last name? Excuse me, Rocky. I've been doing this all morning. This is Rocky, and that one's Kimmy. This is Ann, and that one's Ann. Grayson, you're playing who?
Otto.
And Otto is the father of Anne.
Yes.
Okay, so you have twins. Okay, so Otto, you are on stage all nights of the performance, or all the performances. So, and then you girls take turns. Is that correct? Tell me about that.
We'll be switching off, so we both get 2 school shows. So that's going to be a really fun experience to perform for K through 12. And then Kimmy opens Wednesday and goes Friday and Sunday matinee. And then I perform Thursday and Saturday night. So if you're able to come to both, that would be awesome. If you're only able to make it to one, I think you're really going to enjoy the show no matter which Anne you get.
I thought she was going to say, you got to come to mine. Okay. No. Now, Rocky, you're also Anne. Excuse me. Kimmy, I'm going to get this straight at some point. Kimmy, you're also playing Anne. And so has it confused anybody besides me?
Not really. I think we're both very different. So I think it's been an interesting experience for everyone involved. It's challenging for us just to try to do everything. I can't talk. We get half the rehearsals, but we also get to watch the other rehearsals. So
it's a pretty unique experience. Okay, now Max, you have a unique experience too. You're playing the role of Peter, right?
Yes.
And that means that you're the boyfriend.
Correct.
And so you get both girls.
Hopefully they're both down on the stage at the same time.
I hear that has actually happened a couple of times with rehearsals.
It's very confused me. I don't know which one is which.
Well, the girls and I were talking earlier. We did a radio interview before this, and we were talking about the fact that it kind of keeps the rest of you on your toes because that they are different people and they perform differently.
Yes, they do perform differently, and it's a very small difference, but they do react differently.
But enough to maybe throw you off if you're not paying attention.
Yes, if I was to just be blindfolded, it'd be throwing me off a little bit. Yeah.
And how about you? How has it felt?
Well, I mean, you got the different experiences with each individual Anne, and it really, it keeps you constantly in the moment, and that's something that I really appreciate because every day is different. You can't fall into a rut within your performance because you have a different experience every other day. So you kind of anticipate that you can't anticipate it. So you get to that place where you're just, I guess I gotta just do it and see what happens.
Now, girls, you rehearse together, is that correct?
Yeah, we're both at every rehearsal, and so sometimes at the beginning we would switch off scenes. So one person would start and they would do the blocking of the scene, and then we would switch. and then and then gradually we'd switch acts, and then now we're at the point where we do a full run of the show, and then the next day the other Anne performs. So it also keeps us on our toes because, like Kimmy said, we have half of the rehearsal time. So when we're watching, I mean, sometimes we check our phone, but we usually have to be like focused completely, and it's almost like you have to learn and you have to grow through the watching because you can't always be performing the whole time. So each time that we perform, we have to give it 100% because we have less chances. So
that's absolutely true. I hadn't thought about that part of it. Yeah. Now, you rehearsed, practiced together on your lines. You were telling me about this technique you were doing.
Yeah, we did some Meisner technique for rehearsals, where basically you sit right in front of each other and you have your knees touching and you stare into each other's eyes, and we just we'll take a monologue and do just a line, and we'll say it back and forth to each other until we believe each other. And then we can move on to the next line. We also do it with Peter, where we would do our scenes, and you'd say a line, and then you'd give him a little nod if you believed him, or if you wanted to do it again. So we just keep doing it over and over, and I think that's really helpful, just to really focus on each part and make every single line count, because it's so easy with the monologues like that to just kind of do the whole thing in one way, but you really have to pay attention to what you're saying. So
that's a very good point. Now, because the girls, you've told me that this has a lot of monologue in it, and
there are a lot of monologues.
Right, which if you've read the book, there's a lot of stuff where Anne's doing the writing and so forth, so I'm assuming that's where it's all coming from. But that means that you have a larger role than everybody else does, because you've got more to talk, more lines to learn, more things to do. Now, Anna, is this what inspired you to use two Anns? What brought this on?
Two things. We had the school shows, and so the students are having to perform the show twice in one day, and that's a lot of work, in particular for that character. And then they both had really strong qualities in audition that I felt like fit the role, so I thought, why not? If everybody else is on board with it, as far as I had to ask, the costume designer was the main person that I had to work with on it, because she had to come up with two costumes, or at least find one that would fit both of them. So
I hadn't thought about the costuming aspect. That's another part of it. Well, they're pretty close in size to each other.
They are. Yeah.
Did it make any difference to you that they both have a similar look?
I didn't think about that. I both felt like they fit the part. But when I look at them together on stage, they do look, they do resemble each other, as well as resemble the character of Anne, or the person of Anne that we see in all the pictures. Exactly,
because that was the first thought I had when I saw the girls was, well, they definitely have got that look, so
yeah,
that's really interesting. Now, you guys that are playing these parts, what is the challenge that you face besides the differences? What else about so many performances back to back and so forth?
I think for me, one of the most challenging things is that we don't have an intermission. So we are on stage the entire run of the show. So it's an hour and 45 minutes of consistently being in character and doing everything as if the character would do it within the annex. And while that it helps with the truthfulness of it, so you don't have that time off stage where you leave the stage and then you kind of disconnect for a second and relax, and then okay, now I have to put it back on and go back on stage.
Right.
You're just always doing it. So it's rewarding, but it's also exhausting in its own way.
I can imagine.
Yeah, doing it twice in one day. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to pan out. Hopefully for the best, but you never really know.
Well, now, Max, what is it that you do when the girls are doing their monologues? What are the other characters doing?
While they're doing their monologues, usually, well, for me, I'm in my room a lot of the time, but they can still see me, so I still have to be in character.
The audience can see you.
Yes, they can still, even though people are in the rooms, everyone can still be seen, but some people are in the attic, some people are in the kitchen working on things, but mostly for me, I'm just in my room, either petting my cat or, reading something. But, it's not that long that they're out there, but we're just all doing different things at the same time.
So we were talking about it earlier, the girls and I were, and it's kind of like cutting a wall away on a house and watching what's going on in that house, even though, you know, it's on stage. And so it's kind of a neat concept to do it like that. And is this a specific version that you chose, or are there multiple versions of the Anne Frank story?
This is the first play was adapted from the book in 1952.
Mm-hmm.
This one is from, 1996, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So they added a few monologues, changed the ending actually quite a bit, so that it's a little more transparent about what really happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's more Anne's life as she depicts it in the diary is a little more revealing about her coming of age.
Mm-hmm.
So there's those aspects to it as well that are different from the original version.
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
So, I mean, this whole thing's fascinating to me that it's like
Right.
this. Now, I know that folks are getting interested in this and they want to see it. So does somebody want to tell us where the tickets are and how much they are and all that? You had that down. You want to tell us that?
I think Kimmy had it down, but I can do it too.
Okay.
If I mess up, Kimmy can just correct me. It's at Valborg, so tickets are at Schaefer or in the Valborg box office, and tickets are $16 for the general public and $9 for ASU students, or I think high school students.
Students of any university
students
or
of
high
any
school.
university, and you can call in tickets. I think it's an extra charge. You can also look on the App State page on Theater and Dance, and you'll see the tickets.
There's a website where you can go to theshavercenter.org that you can also purchase the tickets from. There's an extra charge. I believe it's $4 or $5, and for calling in, the extra charge is $2. Or you could just go into the box office.
Kind of worth your gas to go into the box office.
Yeah.
Especially if you're buying a lot of tickets. Now, is that a one-time charge? Do you happen to know?
It is a one-time charge.
Okay, so it's whether you're buying 10 tickets or one. Yeah, it's the same charge.
He works for the box
I work
office.
for the box office.
I'm so glad that worked out so nicely to bring you along. This was what you all were thinking, right? Is that you could handle all this. All right. Is there anything else? Now, who's graduating? I know you're graduating. Are the rest of you?
Hopefully in a couple of years.
In a couple of years, yes. But I meant right away.
Oh.
So what are you planning to do after you finish with Anne Frank and finals and graduation? What's going on?
Oh, don't ask me that. I think I'm gonna try to just move to Raleigh and just audition for some local professional theaters and just try to get as much acting work as I can, and just kind of go from there. You know, with a theater degree, it's not as easy to just get like a steady paying job. So you kind of have to, you know, just take work as it comes, and I'm just gonna try to do my best.
That's great. Now, Max, what year are you?
I'm a freshman.
So you got a long time to be doing all this.
I have a long time to be
All right,
doing
that's
all
fantastic.
this.
Well, you've gotten into a great department, I can tell you, just from the little bit of interaction I've had with them. So now, what are you going to be doing?
I'm a junior, so I'll be a senior next year. And currently I'm going through the Pilates teacher training program.
Ooh.
So hopefully when I graduate, I'll get a job in
Now-
Pilates.
Now, you and Rocky are both double majors, is that correct? This was very strange.
geez.
Tell us about your major.
I'm Rocky.
Okay.
It's okay. It's a running joke, so you're good. And I'm a dance studies and psych double major. And then Kimmy is
And you're what?
I'm a double theater and psychology major.
That's very fascinating to me that both of you have psychology as a second major. Anybody else doing a double?
No.
No. Grayson's like, one's enough for me. And Grayson, what year are you?
I'm a junior. I'm a theater education major. So the plan is actually to go to graduate school eventually and doctorate, and then become a theater professor.
And then you're going to be Anna's
And
cohort.
then I'll come back and I'll return to my alma mater and just reside.
She'll pass the torch. So Anna, how's this entire production? This is one of several you always do? How many do you do a year?
We do 4 main stage.
And as a professor, how many does that mean you're directly involved with?
I usually am only involved with the main stage is about every other year, or less than that actually. So every 2 to 3 years.
So this is kind of a big deal for you then, and then you
Yeah.
can kind of take a deep breath after all.
And then I relax for a while, and then I do it again. Yeah, I love directing, but it's okay to have breaks. Yeah.
Do you get to do any acting yourself anymore?
It's been a couple summers ago. Yeah, it's not my first love. It's fun, but I'm not a quick study, so memorizing lines.
So she can tell you all to do it, but she doesn't really want to do it
Exactly.
herself.
Directing.
So, well, I hope you've enjoyed getting to know these folks, and despite the fact that I keep mixing Rocky and Kimmy up, it's really a cool thing that you're doing this production, not only just because of the topic, but I like the approach of having the interchange. It's the first time I've encountered that, and I think it's really kind of a neat idea, very innovative. So, I hope you'll be planning to come to the production, and the dates again are, who wants to say?
April 22nd through 26th. Wednesday through Saturday is at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday matinee is at 2 p.m.
All right. Get your tickets and make sure you don't miss this. Check our website, watauga-arts.org, for information about this and lots more.
Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.